Okay, so it is done in previous class. Is given here. Debt to capital employed ratio. It shows the relationship between long-term debt and capital employed. The formula is long-term debt divided by capital employed, and capital employed equals to, there is two formula for calculation of capital employed: asset side approach or liability side approach. In asset side approach, we deduct current liabilities from total assets, so we get capital employed. And from liability side approach, it is shareholders fund plus long-term debt, or you can say debt plus equity. Okay, so this formula can change here. The formula can be debt divided by debt plus equity. Okay, so you can use any of these two. The answer will be same. Okay, so this is our debt to capital employed, and I also told you that please try to solve questions from your book, because there is no question of this ratio in my book. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Have you tried some question of debt to capital employed ratio?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, no problem. Please try it in our next class. Okay, so we are starting activity ratio now. You are seeing the screen. Okay, so it is also called performance or turnover ratio. It measures efficiency of enterprise in utilization of its resources. Generally, these ratio are expressed in times. So inventory turnover ratio, trade receivable turnover ratio, trade payable turnover ratio, working capital, average collection period, and average payment period. This average collection period is related with trade receivable turnover ratio, and this average payment period is related to trade payable turnover ratio. Okay, so you can say these two ratio are combined. It is one ratio actually. So these are our activity ratio. We can also include total asset turnover ratio or fixed asset turnover ratio, like current asset turnover ratio, in this ratio also. Okay, so we will discuss those ratio also, but fixed asset turnover ratio and current assets turnover ratio is not in your syllabus, but just for brief knowledge, we will discuss that. Okay, so now what is inventory turnover ratio? The first one. So inventory turnover ratio, it establishes the relationship between cost of revenue from operation or cost of goods sold and average inventory during the period. Okay, so for calculation of inventory turnover ratio, we have to use two things: cost of goods sold or cost of revenue from operation, and second is average inventory. Now, can you tell me how to calculate average inventory? Manisha?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me how to calculate average inventory?
Opening inventory plus closing inventory upon divided by 2.
Yes, opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. So inventory turnover ratio, it measures the efficiency of inventory management. It shows the number of times amount invested in inventory is rotated. Means we can convert our inventory in cost of goods sold. Okay, so that's why. So the formula is cost of revenue from operation divided by average inventory, and cost of revenue from operation equals to opening stock plus purchase plus direct expenses. Actually, it is plus closing stock, which is incorrect here. It is not plus, it is minus. Okay, so opening stock plus purchase plus direct expenses minus closing stock. or revenue from operation minus gross profit. So these two formula we can use for calculation of cost of goods sold. Okay. Now, why we are comparing cost of goods sold? Because inventory is not related with revenue from operation. It is actually the part of cost. That's why we are taking cost of sales, not sales. Okay. So we will use cost of revenue from operation divided by average inventory. Now, the formula for average inventory, as you told, opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. Now, there is a note given if cost of revenue from operation is not given in the question or cannot be calculated, both situation exist, then revenue from operation can be used. Okay, so if we are not able to find the cost of revenue from operation in question, it is not given, or we are not able to calculate it also, then we can use revenue from operation. But in some question, you will not be given cost of goods sold, but the information was given in a manner that you can calculate, then you don't have to use revenue from operation. Okay, so both of this situation exist, then we will use a revenue from operation. The first, cost of goods sold is not given and it cannot be calculated. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see a question related to this. Can you see the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in first question, the cost of goods sold is given, inventory in the beginning of the year is given, and inventory at the end of the year is given. So what we have to do, we will calculate average inventory by adding these two and dividing it by 2, and then divide cost of revenue from operation divided by average inventory. So we'll get inventory turnover ratio. So let's leave this portion. We will try to solve question number 68. Cost of revenue from operation is given in this portion also, and opening inventory is given, purchase is given. Okay. So let's the question number 68 solution. Okay, so cost of goods sold given. It is 5 lakh. Now, for calculation of inventory turnover ratio, we need average inventory. Okay, and for average inventory, we need closing stock, opening stock and closing stock. So opening stock is given in the question, so we have to find out the closing stock. Now, the closing stock is used in the formula of cost of goods sold. So we will write cost of goods sold formula here, cost of goods sold. If any information is missing in the question, then you have to think that in which formula, in which equation, the missing item is included. Like in cost of goods sold, the formula is opening stock plus purchase and minus closing stock. There is a plus direct expenses also, but we sometimes exclude direct expenses. Okay, because direct expenses is not always given in the question. That's why. So we exclude that direct expense. Now, so opening stock plus purchase and minus closing stock. So cost of goods sold we have, opening stock we have, purchase we have. There is only one item is missing, that is closing stock. So we can use this formula to calculate closing stock. So cost of goods sold equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock, and cost of goods sold is 5 lakh. Opening stock is also given. It is 1 lakh. Purchase is given 5,50,000. And closing stock is not given. We have to calculate this. So closing stock. So we will take closing stock on the left side. So it will be positive. Closing stock equals to 550 plus 1 lakh, that is 6,50,000. And we will take this 5 lakh on this side, right side. So it will be in negative form. So 5 lakh. Our closing stock equals to 1,50,000. Okay, so now we can calculate average inventory. Average inventory equals to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. So 1 lakh plus 1,50,000 divided by 2. Total is 2,50,000 divided by 2. So it is 1,25,000. This is your average inventory. Now, formula of inventory turnover ratio is cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold we have 5 lakh divided by average inventory, and average inventory we have 1,25,000. So the answer is 4 times. Is this clear? Do you have any doubt in this question? Can you write in chat?
So am I not audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
It is clear, sir.
Okay, good. Actually, first time your voice is not audible, so that's why I told.
Okay. So actually, the climate in my place is not good. It's like raining. And
Yes, the monsoon has arrived.
yes, sir.
Actually, we are waiting for rain, but it's not happening in my area.
So here also in my place, it usually doesn't rain, but today now the climate is.
Yeah, due to weather, some problem happens. Okay, so this is our question number 68. Okay, now in question number 69, you can see opening inventory is given, purchase is given, revenue from operation is also given, and gross profit ratio of 30% is. Now, in this question, we can calculate closing inventory or not. You just have to explain me, if we have to calculate closing stock, then what will we do? You understand the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What will be our first step? If you don't understand, you can tell me.
So should we define the revenue from operation?
Should I define revenue from operation? Okay, let me define the quotient. Your voice is not audible, so let me read the quotient because of weather condition, it happen full time. Okay, so you can write anything if you want to ask in chat. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is opening inventory is given, purchase is given, revenue from operation, that is net sales, is also given, and gross profit ratio. For calculation of inventory turnover ratio, we need cost of goods sold and average inventory, which we don't have. We don't have cost of goods sold and we don't have average inventory because there is no closing stock even. Now, for calculation of cost of goods sold, we have information. Cost of goods sold formula. There is two formula we can use to calculate cost of goods sold. The first is opening a stock plus purchase plus direct expenses minus closing stock, but closing stock is not given, so we cannot use that formula. If there is two items missing in any one formula, then you cannot use that, okay, because you are not able to calculate any of these two items. So only one item should be missing for calculation, then we can use. So we cannot use first formula, we can use second one. So cost of goods sold equals to net sales minus gross profit. This is our second formula. You can see here, I have written cost of revenue from operation. First formula is opening stock plus purchase plus direct expenses minus closing stock, or second is net sales or revenue from operation minus gross profit. So net sale is given in the quotient, that is revenue from operation. It is 6 lakh. So 6 lakh here minus gross profit, that is 30%. So gross profit is calculated on net sales. So 6 lakh into 30%. You can calculate gross profit separately and then write the amount here. It is also good. Okay, you can like write gross profit equals to 6 lakh into 30%. You will get 1,80,000. So we will write here 6 lakh minus 1,80,000. So it is 4,20,000. Our cost of goods sold is calculated. Now we can calculate the closing stock by using the second formula of cost of goods sold, which is cost of goods sold equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Now all the information of previous quotient is now we have. Okay, so opening stock plus purchase and minus closing stock. So cost of goods sold is 4,20,000. And opening stock is given in the quotient, it is 50,000. 50,000 and plus purchase, which is 3,90,000, and minus closing stock. So closing stock will go on the left side and 4,20,000 will be on the right side. So it is total 4,40,000 minus 4,20,000. So our closing stock is 20,000. Average inventory will be 50,000, that is opening stock, plus 20,000 divided by 2. So 70,000 divided by 2, we will get 35,000. And now inventory turnover ratio. It will be total cost of goods sold is 4,20,000 and our average inventory is 35,000. So 12 times. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So can you solve question number 70 for me right now?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, please try question number 70. Done.
So just a yes, sir. Done.
Okay. So what is your answer?
So I got 8 times.
8 times. So your cost of goods sold is 2,40,000. Yes. Okay. So your cost of goods sold is 2,40,000 and your average inventory is 30,000. So it is 8 times. Yes. Good. Okay. Now all these questions, Vanisha, you are already in class and there is two Vanisha in class actually. So okay, now one. Okay, so question number 71 is same. You have average inventory, revenue from operation, and gross loss is given. Okay, so revenue from operation and gross loss will be added in revenue from operation. After that, we have this portion, the closing. Yes, inventory turnover ratio. We have revenue from operation, we have gross profit. So we can calculate cost of goods sold. And closing inventory is 1,20,000. Excess of closing inventory over opening inventory is 40,000. Means our closing inventory is 1,20,000 and it is more than it is 40,000 more than the opening inventory. So we will deduct 40,000 from closing inventory and we will get our opening inventory. So it is 80,000. Okay, so this is also the similar portion. Now in this actually, okay, question number 74, you can see. Please read the question along with me. Rupees 2 lakh is the cost of revenue from operation. So cost of goods sold is given. So we have the numerator of inventory turnover ratio during the year. If inventory turnover ratio is 8 times, now answer is also given. So we have to calculate something else. Calculate inventory at the end of the year. Inventory at the end is 1.5 times that of in the beginning. Okay, so our closing inventory is 1.5 times of opening inventory. In this type of question, what we have to do, it is question number 74. Question number 74. Solution. Now, the first thing is the cost of goods sold we have been given. Yes, cost of goods sold is 2 lakh. Cost of goods sold is 2 lakh and inventory turnover ratio is also given. So our closing inventory is 1.5 times of opening inventory. So we have to assume opening inventory. We always assume X or Y or anything you want to assume, like any other word, sorry, or the letter, any other letter. So you have to use the base item. Okay, like closing inventory is 1.5 times of opening inventory. So here opening inventory is base item. Okay, so on the basis of opening inventory, you can calculate closing inventory. That's why we will assume opening inventory as base item. Okay, so let opening inventory or assume opening inventory is 1 X. Okay, opening inventory is X, so our closing inventory is 1.5 times of opening inventory. So we will get X into 1.5, that is 1.5X. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, so opening inventory is X, closing inventory is 1.5X. We can calculate average from this or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we can calculate average and use that average in the inventory turnover ratio formula. So we will get the value of X. But there is another method. We will use inventory turnover ratio formula. Inventory turnover ratio. So inventory turnover ratio equals to cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Okay, so our inventory turnover ratio is 8 times. So we will write 8 here. And cost of goods sold is 2 lakh. But average inventory we don't know. Okay, so we will write average inventory here. Now the cross multiplication. So here average inventory into 8 equals to 2 lakh. So average inventory equals to 2 lakh divided by 8. We will get 25,000. Is this clear? Okay, so we will get 25,000 as average inventory. And if we see our average inventory here, X and 1.5X. Okay, so we will now we will use average inventory for average inventory equals to opening inventory and closing divided by 2, or you can say opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Now average inventory is 25,000. Opening inventory is X, closing inventory is 1.5X, and divided by 2. So 2 will be multiplied by 25,000. You will get 50,000 here, and equals to 2.5X. So X equals to 50,000 divided by 2.5. It is 20,000. Now our opening inventory is calculated. Opening inventory is X, so our opening inventory is 20,000. Closing inventory is 1.5x. 1.5x. So we can say 1.5 multiplied by 20,000. We will get 30,000. Now tell me, is there any problem in this question? Let me revise all the steps we have done. First of all, we assume our opening inventory as X, okay, and our closing inventory was 1.5 times of opening inventory, so our closing inventory is 1.5x. We can also do this like average inventory X plus 1.5x divided by 2. So you will get 2.5x divided by 2 or 1.25x. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, on the basis of this formula, we have calculated our average inventory, 25,000. So we can do this also, like average inventory is 1.25x, and by that formula, we got 25,000. So we can write 1.25x. This is also our average inventory, and 25,000 is also average inventory. So X equals to 25,000 divided by 1.25. You will get 20,000. The answer is same. There is no change in that. So you can use this method also. Okay, so this is your solution. So we have calculated opening, assumed opening inventory, closing inventory. Then we have calculated our average inventory by using formula of inventory turnover ratio. Because I told you, you will use formula only when there is only one item is missing. Okay, so in this formula, cost of goods sold is given in the quotient, inventory turnover ratio is given in the quotient. So there is only one item missing, that is average inventory. So we have calculated average inventory by using this formula, that is 25,000. And average inventory equals to opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. So average inventory we have 25,000 equals to X plus 1.5x divided by 2. So we have calculated the value of X, that is 20,000. It is our opening stock and closing stock is 20,000. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you are able to solve these type of question, can I give you one question? Okay. So this is your question here. Okay. You can see the question number 82.
Yes, sir.
Can you solve these type of question? Please read the question and just tell me you can solve it or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you need explanation or you will able to solve it yourself?
So I'll be able to.
Okay. So in this question also, you can see closing inventory is more by 4,000 than opening inventory. So you have closing opening inventory as X and closing inventory will be 4,000 plus X. So this is our inventory turnover ratio. We can solve these questions. I will give you these homeworks. So you will try these questions. Now, trade receivable turnover ratio. The next ratio is trade receivable turnover ratio. Now, I told you in previous class that trade receivable includes two things. Which are those two things?
Debtors and bills receivable.
Debtors and bills receivable. Very good. So trade receivable includes debtors and bills receivable. So you can see here in a formula, we have trade receivable turnover ratio. So it shows the relationship between credit revenue from operation. Actually, if you see the see the concept, trade receivable is related with debtors and bills receivable. And debtor means a person whom we have sold our goods on credit basis. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So debtor is basically related with credit sales. That's why we have taken here credit revenue from operation. So it shows the relationship between credit revenue from operation, that is net credit sales. You cannot include cash sale in this, and average trade receivable. So this ratio indicates the number of times trade receivable are turned over in relation to credit sales. So how many times our credit sales uh, means how much amount we have sold on credit basis and how much amount we have collected from this, it tells us. Okay, so how many times it is rotated. Now, trade receivable turnover ratio formula is credit revenue from operation divided by average trade receivable. So this will result in times, okay, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever it is. So it will result in 5 times, okay. So the average trade receivable formula is opening trade receivable plus closing trade receivable divided by. Now, if you want to calculate opening trade receivable, okay, so you have to include opening debtors and opening bills receivable. Same with the closing trade receivable, you have to include closing debtors and closing bills receivable divided by 2. Okay, so this is your average trade receivable. Now, in this formula, I told you there is one more formula is attached. There is one more ratio attached with this ratio, which is average collection period. Okay, average collection period is related with this formula because for that calculation, you need trade receivable turnover ratio. So average collection period formula is 365 divided by trade receivable turnover ratio. You can say this. So we have to use trade receivable turnover ratio. Now, you can see a note given here. Provision for doubtful debts is not deducted from trade receivable for calculation of trade receivable turnover ratio. So generally, in preparation of financial statement, we deduct provision from debtors because we think that provision is obviously our loss. So we remove it from the debtors. But in calculation of trade receivable turnover ratio, we have to take gross debtors, not net debtors. We don't have to deduct our provision for doubtful debts. So we will use gross debtors, and the formula for calculation is already mentioned here, receivable turnover ratio and average collection. Okay, so tell me, is there any confusion in this?
No.
Okay. Now, on the basis of this, there is questions here, trade receivable turnover ratio. You can say the first thing, the question number 85, credit revenue from operation, that is net credit sales for the year. Okay, it is 1,20,000. Our debtors is 12,000 and our bills receivable is 8,000. Now tell me if you can calculate average trade receivable here.
So could you repeat?
You can calculate average trade receivable in this question or not? Because for the formula, for the trade receivable turnover ratio, we need average trade receivable. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So can we calculate average trade receivable in this question? No. So we have to use the normal trade receivable, that is debtors plus bills receivable, 12,000 plus 8,000, that is 20,000. So in the absence of average trade receivable, or if we are not able to calculate it, then we will use simple trade receivable. Or sometime bills receivable will also not given in the question. Then we will use debtors. No problem. Okay.
So when we are using the normal thing, we won't divide it by 2. We just
Yes,
add
we will.
the debtors and bills receivable.
Yes,
Okay.
because we are not calculating average. While calculating average, we divide it by 2. But it is not average, it is normal trade receivable. So 12,000 plus 8,000, it is 20,000.
Okay.
And if bills receivable is also not given, then we will use 12,000.
Okay.
Okay. So in question number 86, if you will see, there is opening balance and closing balance of sundry debtors and bills received. In this question, you will add the opening balance, opening to balance, sundry debtors and bills received to calculate opening trade receivable, and you will add 25,000 and 15,000. That is 40,000 is your closing trade receivable. After that, you will combine it. You will calculate average by adding these two. So 28 plus 7, 35,000 is opening trade receivable and 40,000 is closing trade receivable. So 35 plus 40 divided by 2. Okay.
Okay, sir.
There is provision for doubtful debts also. So we don't have to use that in calculation of trade receivable turnover ratio. So it is given just to confuse students. Okay. Now total sales is given, sales return is given, cash sale is given. So which one we have to use?
Cash sale, we have to subtract cash sales from total sales.
Yes, we will subtract cash sale from total sales. Sorry, not total sale, net sale, because total sale minus sales return we have to.
So you have to subtract the sales return.
Yes, first we will subtract sales return and then we will deduct cash sale from the balance of.
Okay.
So we will get our net credit sales and it will be 98,500, 75,000, I think. Yes, 75,000. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you can see all the questions are like this. Okay. In question number 88, you can see the question.
Yes, sir.
Net sales is given 6 lakh. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And it is given that cash sales being 25% of credit sales. Can you calculate credit sale?
So will we take credit sales as X and 25% of X, like from that will like from this net sales will divide that?
Can you repeat your question?
So from the net sales, we'll deduct 25% of X. Like we'll take the net credit sales of X.
No.
Like that?
No. Actually, cash sale is 25% of credit sales. Okay. And cash sale plus credit sale equals to total sales. That is 6 lakh. So cash sale plus credit sale is 6 lakh. Okay. Not clear?
No, sir, I'm not clear with it. Can you help us solve it?
Okay, so see, the cash sale plus credit sale equals to total sale. Yes?
Yes.
Yes or no? Now total sale is 6 lakh. And cash sale is 25% of credit sales. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you assume credit sale as X, then your cash sale will be 0.25x. And by adding these two, you will get 6 lakh. So it is 1.25x equals to 6 lakh. X equals to 6 lakh divided by 1.25. So it will be 6 lakh divided by 1. It is 4,80,000. This is your credit sales, and into 25%, 1,20,000. This is your cash. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
If you are confused,